Hello friends, today I'm going to be giving you guys an AFK combat experience training method. The items you're going to want to have is a full inventory of food, around 2k coins to start with, one stack of around 1,000 or more noted food depending on how long you want to stay there, and you can bring noted potions if you want to boost your combat stats. That'll help you get more experience per hour, but it does make it a little bit less AFK. So that's up to you. For your gear, you're going to want to have your best combat gear for the type of combat that you're going to want to train. For me, I'm doing strength, so I have some of the best in slot items for strength bonus besides Barrow's gloves and the Berserker ring. Usually, I'll have a Ring of Wealth here because you can pick up the coin drops from the NPCs that you killed, and they stack up after a little bit of time, and you'll have a nice sum of cash after you train for a while, so it's kind of nice. It helps pay for the food. For food, I use lobsters. Lobsters will suffice if you have a decent defense level. My defense is around 85 right now, and I can usually AFK for 10 minutes, no problem, and then go and eat the food and I'll be fine. So basically, you're going to be training at the Bandits here in the Bandit camp. To get there, you're going to want to get to Shanty Pass. You can get there using a Glory teleport to Kharid and then running south, or you can use a Dueling Ring teleport, or just any way to get to Shanty Pass. Then you can use the rug from here and go to the Bedouin camp and then run straight south and go to any one of these tents to train. I'll talk more about that when I get there. Also, I forgot to mention one really crucial thing. You're going to need one Zamorak item or one Ceradomin item. You can bring one of each if you want to, but there's really no need since you only need one. This will make them aggressive to you always, and it'll help you really AFK, and that's really important. So once you guys feel that you're ready and all geared up, you're going to want to go to Shanty Pass, buy a Shanty Pass, and then pass on the Shanty Guard. Then you're going to go talk to the Rug Merchant and travel. You're going to select the second option, which is the Bedouin camp. And then you're going to travel to the Bedouin camp. Okay friends, once you've made it to the Bedouin camp, you're going to want to run directly south to the Bandit camp. Now since you're in the desert, you do need water to survive, but when you go into these tents, you won't start dying of thirst. So as long as you don't AFK outside in the desert, you'll be fine and you don't have to worry about dying of thirst. This is a pretty commonly camped area since it is really good experience, so you may have trouble finding an open world, but there are basically 3 spots you can train in. There's this spot here where this guy is, there's this spot here where this guy is, and then there's also this tent here. Now in this tent there's 2 spawns. There's this bandit and then there's this bandit. If they're outside the tent, you're going to want to kill them both before you enter the tent, and then once you kill them, you're going to go step right here on this rug. After that, you're going to turn on your preferred training method and then hit auto retaliate. You can pot up if you want to, or eat if you need to, and then you just simply have to AFK. I don't know exactly how long the timer is, but I know for a fact that you can last at least 10 minutes after you've clicked on the bandit once without dying or without being logged out, if you can survive that long. So having really good defensive gear is pretty crucial to how long you can AFK. With my setup here, I usually don't have to worry about dying before I log out. I'll usually have at least half health before I actually log out. I can do a lot of stuff when I'm not doing this. I can close out of the entire screen, I can go downstairs, I can make a sandwich. You can do basically whatever you want as long as you come back every 10 minutes and click on the bandit and eat some food. Now this is what makes this method really AFK and really awesome. So, if you start running low on food after you've killed some bandits, you can run straight up into this northern tent here. In this tent there'll be an NPC called Tiles. Now, if you use your noted stack of food on Tiles, there'll be an option to exchange your food for a certain amount of coins. Each food is worth 5 coins, so for my 8 food that I need, it'll cost me 40 coins. Bam, your inventory is full of food again. So now I'm going to tell you why I prefer to use Ring of Wealth over Berserker Ring imbued here. So basically, the Ring of Wealth has a toggle coin collection on it. If you turn this on, any monster that drops a coin will automatically be picked up and teleported to your inventory into your cash pile. This is super helpful because you'll usually never run out of coins, and you'll always have a steady supply of coins for whenever you need to exchange your noted food for normal food so that you can eat them. Now, as far as experience rates are concerned, with my gear setup and with my stats, I usually get around 52,000 strength experience per hour here. If you have higher, of course you'll get more experience per hour, and if you have a lower stat, you'll get less. You can also train with range here, and you can bring Sarah D'hide or Zamorak D'hide to act as your Zami item, which is pretty helpful. Doing that, you'll usually get around 35k experience an hour. I did this all the way from 92 range to 99 range, and I use bone bolts. If you were to use broad bolts with a rune crossbow, or maybe even an armadillo crossbow, you could get upwards to 45k experience an hour, but since bone bolts are so cheap, I usually use those, and I got around 35k experience an hour. Of course, if you were 60 range or below, you would not nearly get that much experience per hour. In fact, you may not even want to come here if you're that low range, because your experience would be pretty dismal. I'd recommend using iron knives somewhere else, such as Yaks, or even doing Slayer to get around 75 to 80, and then you can just AFK those really long annoying levels while doing some homework or IRL things that you need done and not get any experience waste, and that's why I love this method. But because these bandits are really easy to kill, you can still melee these at pretty low melee stats. You don't really want to come here unless you have at least dragon armor or dragon weapons. I'm using the D-skimmer right now for strength experience, and I'm still getting a good bit of experience. When I was training defense with my whip, with this strength and attack level, I was still getting around 52,000 experience per hour, maybe 53,000, and I did this for a long time, so I can say with full confidence that if you're using my gear and my stats with my weapon, you get around 52,000 experience per hour. Well guys, thanks so much for sticking around and watching the whole video, and I hope you can use this method to get those easy AFK levels. Take it easy guys.